I'll just be sitting home in my dirty home clothes, and she'll walk into the room and she's like, I'm gonna take a picture of you and send it to your agencies and they will never book you for a job again. Wow, geez, so harsh.
Now I'm going to say the rest of it. She
No.
always wears her clothes inside out.
Thanks, Mom. When I was around 15 years old, I watched a promo for Miss Universe on TV on Star World, and I was like, what is this? And I set an alarm. I didn't have school that day. I set an alarm. I woke up. I had some food in the fridge. I reheated it and quickly ran and turned on the TV and sat down to watch the Miss Universe pageant. And I watched it, and for the first time in my life, I was like, wow, this is, I want to do this. Like, wow, that's beautiful. Like, everything, they were showing you stuff behind the scenes and everything was so crazy. And I'm like, I want to be Miss Universe. It was the first time that I just had a thought even related to this field. I just turned around, I looked at him, made eye contact, and was like, I'm gonna be Miss Universe. My dad's like, what? He's like, what, Miss Universe, what do you mean? So my dad, as any typical South Indian father would do, he he ran to his room, locked the door, and called my mom, who was in India. And he's like, your daughter, she's saying she wants to be Miss Universe. My mom's like, what? He's like, yeah, I just saw her, she's watching the Miss Universe pageant, and she just told me that she wants to be Miss Universe. I had acne, I was 5 feet tall, I was overweight, so my dad was kind of in shock. He was like, what? My mom's like, she's just saying whatever, like she just is like saying random stuff. She's not being serious, it's okay. And my dad was like, okay, cool. When I turned about 17, I had all the details ready. I went and told my mom, I need to shoot a portfolio, and we're going to be shooting a portfolio on such and such day, and we're going to be shooting it here, and I need you to drive me. And she's like, what, portfolio? What, portfolio for what? And I was like, for this modeling agency. And she's like, modeling agency? Like what?
You and your brother have been plotting.
Yeah, my brother helped me out a lot. My brother put the seed in my head. He showed me the page for the modeling agency, and he was like, this is what you need to do. And I'm like, okay. So yeah, and then we went and we did the first shoot. My mom came and sat with me while I got my hair and makeup done for my first shoot. That's how I shot my first portfolio, and I got my first job within a week or so. And here we are.
So how did it go? What happened to the Miss Universe?
Clearly that didn't happen. But I quickly got out of the modeling, the interest in modeling, and moved more towards acting. I just gravitated towards acting a little bit more than modeling. Do you remember the first time we met?
I think it was for a job.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing hair, and someone else doing makeup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The one which came on Wracking, right?
Yes. The Bali campaign. He saw me and he's like, nice to meet you. I'm like, we've met before. He's like, have we? I'm like, you live in
No,
Bush,
even she
you know?
told me, he's like, oh, I think you guys met each other before. I said, who's that? Now I remember. Now I remember everything.
And he told me if I ever want to come to Bush Khalifa and drink orange juice to call you.
Yeah.
I remember the first job, I had just turned 18 and it was this big French fashion brand. I don't want to take the name of it, but there's a few so you can kind of figure out which one, but they were doing an event in this amazing hotel and they had booked out the whole outdoor area and they were doing a private fashion show for their elite clients in Dubai. I was so nervous. The whole team had come from France. They had flown in, so I had on a navy blue dress and these black heels. And this lady, who I'm guessing is like the head of the operations, she walks into the room and she sees me and she's like, what are these shoes? Are you gonna be wearing these shoes for the event? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, these were the ones that were like approved at the fitting. Get me another pair. I'm like, but I don't have any other shoes. Like, I just brought these ones. So I was like, I can go home and get you another pair. She's like, no, we don't have time for these. That's a really bad French accent, by the way, but yeah. What size are you? I was like, 40. She's like, okay, these are 39. Try to fit into them, but don't like damage these shoes because they're like more than your payment. Yeah, she gave me the shoes didn't fit. And then we went into hair and makeup and I was like, oh my God, like this is my first job. This is my first day. Like this is how it's starting. Like, there were a group of the people that had come in from France, like her team, that were like standing on the side. And they were all talking amongst themselves in French. And I could see them kind of like looking over at me and then they'd go back to talking to themselves and then they'd look over at me again. I'm like, oh my God, somebody's gonna say something again. I made the mistake of like looking at the girl. And as soon as I looked at her, she looked at me and she's like, you're so beautiful. I'm like, what? Me? The first day was like a nice balance of good and not so good. Because somebody was being mean for no reason and someone else was being nice for no reason. It was a good start. It was a good start. Here we are 8 years later. 8 years? 7 years? 7, 8 years later, yeah. You realize then that more often than not, the people that you meet all sorts of people. And if they're gonna be nice to you, then it's because they are nice and they want to be nice. And if they're not gonna be nice to you, that's because they just don't want to be nice, so it has more to do with them than it has to do with you, and you're kind of there to do your job, so that's what you do. You do your job. But I got paid 520 dirhams for my first job, and I was so excited as an 18-year-old to take a check of 520 dirhams. So I walked into the bank like this and I gave them the check.